Welcome to Sure Thing. We're Lakey Peterson
and Kaylee Gilchrist, two athletes who love exploring the world and sharing our stories.
We'll be taking you through the good times, the tough times, and everything in between.
Basically, it's about chasing dreams, staying inspired, and having fun along the way.
Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Sure Thing with Lakey Peterson, Kaylee Gilchrist, and my amazing, handsome husband, Thomas Allan.
Thanks for having me today, guys.
Welcome,
I'm excited.
welcome to the show, babe. I'm gonna just intro Tom really quick and then give it to Kaylee. Tom is very handsome. He's from Australia. He is an osteopath, doctor of osteopathy, which we're going to get into. A lot of people here in the States don't fully know what they are. They're amazing. A great surfer. Edits all my YouTube stuff.
Too much there,
and the also just master of all things fun and an insanely good runner. Anything cardio. He's got a bit of a crazy switch. So that is Tom. We're going to talk about doctor stuff, health stuff today. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to hand it over to Kaylee for the first segment.
So we're going to cue the chaos. So we're asking Tom 5 questions, and you have to say whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
It'll be easy. We'll get you warmed up. What is your coffee order?
Cappuccino with oat milk.
Song that gets you amped for a big moment.
Queens of Stone Age, Little Sister.
Ooh. One training hack you swear by.
Reformer.
Your go-to guilty pleasure.
Chocolate on the couch, 8 p.m. at night.
Oh, with whipped cream.
With a little
and
whipped
then
cream
a few
and
more
whipped berries.
sprinkles. He's got a full thing. It's more than that.
It's the naughty hour.
One habit, mindset, or quote that has changed your life the most.
First with the head, then with the heart.
Nice. The first cue the chaos. You crushed it.
We love that segment. The cue the chaos was we struggled to come up with those questions, but I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, and it warms everyone up. So for a talk.
Yeah.
I like it. It was easy. I was expecting something hard.
Obviously, me and Kaylee are athletes, and we've worked with so many different types of trainers, which, Tom, you've done a lot of personal training, especially when you were still in school to get your doctorate. But in Australia, New Zealand, and Europe, osteos are quite similar in what they do. And then here in the States, we have osteopaths, but they're very different than say what you guys do. So can you just explain to people what is an osteopath, what you guys do, what you look for? Because they're pretty amazing. So yeah, just break that down.
Thank you. Yeah. So osteos, it is a misconception over here. A lot of the osteos in America are what we call DOs, and a lot of them are more MD surgery based.
Yeah.
Where the osteos in Australia, Europe, New Zealand, Canada, we're more, holistic. We do more manual therapy, and that includes things such as manipulation, exercise rehabilitation, all the soft tissue. So we sort of cover all bases, and I always explain to people it's like a bit of a blend of a chiropractor and a physical therapist in one. So we're a little bit more subtle than a chiropractor with the manipulations. We do the soft tissue that a physical therapist does, and then we touch on exercise rehabilitation, maybe not as much as a physical therapist, but we still hit it. Yeah.
What you're really good at, because you came from such an athletic background, I feel like your manual therapy is great, but you're very good at the rehab side of things too. Probably better than maybe most osteos. You really are good at that part of it, I feel like.
Thank you. Yeah. No, it's something I enjoy the most. And I think, for giving the patient confidence, it's the most important thing going forward. Like if they don't have the right rehabilitative exercises to get them on track, they're just going to be coming back to see you every sort of 2 or 3 weeks. So I think that's one of the most important keys in the little puzzles. So.
Have you worked with an osteo? Do you?
I have
them.
Yeah, I have. After, unfortunately, I've had 4 surgeries, so I've worked with one in Newport Beach, and after both those all those surgeries, and he's just been awesome. And what you said, like, has his mindset of just the holistic version, which is something Lakey and I have talked about that we're really into, and then he has the background of the chiro, of the training, of just different types of work, Aldoa stances and stuff like that, like all over. So I felt like I learned so much going to him rather than if I just went to somebody else. I think there's just a lot of info from that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like with the holistic thing, everyone always asks me what it actually covers. And it's like the best way to explain it is like you go to a lot of people and it'll be like a knee injury and they'll just focus on the knee and give you some stability exercises for the knee, treat the knee, put some needles in through the knee. Whereas the holistic approach will look down the chain in the ankle or the hip or even the back, and they're finding like more of the root cause of the issue that you're trying to sort of fix. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every good I've worked with or physio or chiro is like, you'll say, "Oh, my back hurts here," and then they just go, "Okay, let's look not at that
looking at your
spot,"
ankle.
right? Like, okay, yeah, all of a sudden they're like,
Exact
"Let me
opposite
dive into
spot.
your brain." And you're like, "Hang on." So it is, I think that is very much a thing with just really good practitioners in general, I've noticed, but like, I don't know if you've had that same deal, but I feel like, yeah, that's very much what you do. You break down kind of what else is going wrong in the body, or why is that pain here? Because usually from what I've learned, it's like not, well, it is maybe in your lower back, but there's things that are like contributing to that, right?
Yeah, and there's patterns throughout your body. So it'll jump from one side to the other through certain segments of the spine or the hips and knees. So,
Oh,
yeah, there's a lot that's going on.
I want to know how you got to where you are today. Like, let's go way back. Little Grom at Bell's Beach, hear about the family, and then what led you to this career path.
So similar to you, I've had so many injuries, especially when I was younger, and a lot of knee injuries. So ACL reconstruction, hip surgery, broken bones. I was always in the physio
yeah.
and the osteo back in
So
Torquay.
many injuries, Tom. So many. Keep going. But you have hurt yourself a lot, yes.
So yeah, back in Torquay, I actually had a really cool physio I used to see, and I always, as a young teen, would be like, "This guy's the coolest guy ever." And I chased the surfing thing for probably 3 years after high school, and then I realized that osteopathy was what I wanted to get into, and I was thinking physio, and then I looked into osteo, and I was like, all right, the holistic approach and everything else really suits me a lot more. So.
But yeah, for sure. Give people, so Tom, you were a really good runner, and that's where your knees got kind of bad in your hips, right? When you were little, because you did competitive running.
Yeah, yeah. So I started with Osgood Slatters, which is like a growth plate disorder in the knees. A lot of teens get it.
Mm.
And then that went to MCL injuries surfing. If there's any surfers out there, it's one of the most common
Yeah.
knee injuries amongst the teens these days. And then that slowly led into an ACL rupture and meniscus tear and everything else that really slowed me down. That was like 16 months of recovery. So.
And then you were like, I want to learn how to fix myself. Because if I'm going to keep living this
Totally.
lifestyle.
Well, the crazy thing is though, when you spend that much time, and you'd probably attest to this, Kaylee, like when you're in a physio so much, you actually learn so much about your body. And I feel like half the patients I've seen that are athletes, they know almost half as much as a physio. Like you're going in and like, you're literally learning anatomy, you're learning how to rehab your body, you're learning, how your body is meant to operate.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy. I mean, you've had that many injuries.
I've had too many injuries as well. But yeah, I think something that this is like taking away the science behind it, but something that I've always appreciated from my, support team, and whether they're the doctors, the PT, the osteopaths, but it's just, you really spend a lot of time with them. And you can that either makes or break it. So I think, and I know that your personality is so amazing that it is really fun because you can build such a deep relationship with these athletes, and they almost become family. You're spending more time with them than you are with your own family if you're rehabbing back from a really intense injury with goals and aspirations of being, number one in the world at whatever that may be. So I've always enjoyed connecting on a deeper level with these people that maybe I wouldn't have been able to do unless I was injured. So trying to find the blessings in disguise through this entire, injury process. But that's something that I've always totally appreciated. And I know you've spent time with plenty of athletes, plenty of hours, more so than most of your family. And it is a special connection when you do find somebody that you gel with and you want the best for them and vice versa.
100%. Yeah. It's, I often say we're almost counselors, and especially with the longer rehab patients and athletes we have. It's like every time they come in, they're getting a little bit more frustrated. They want to be back in their sports competing. So yeah, it is I think it's half of it's in the mind and the rest is, the actual physical.
Osteos and hairstylists. You just get to know every person you work
Yeah.
with. Deepest, darkest
so
secrets,
good.
right?
Yeah.
It's like it is. You could
Gossip hour.
Yeah, it's full gossip hour. Good thing it's confidential. I would know everything.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So you decided, you said you did the surf thing for 3 years, did the QS and a couple contests around Australia.
Yep.
And then you decided through those injuries, you're like, okay, this is the route I want to do. But where do you start? How do you go straight to school? Do you have to apply? What does that look like?
Yeah, so in Australia, I actually was doing biomedical science, but you go from high school, it goes off what we call them enter scores, like out of pretty much 100, they sort of rate the whole state. And then so I got into biomedical science, had no idea what I wanted to do. I did that for 2.5 years, hated it, worst thing I've ever done. And then from there, I was like, hang on, what do I really like enjoy doing? And at the time, I'd for some part-time work started doing some personal training.
Mm.
I was like, I love this. I love like helping people with their bodies and that. And I was like, all right, let's see if I can get into osteopathy. So I applied. I was a mature age student at the time as well, and luckily they accepted me. And and then so osteopathy was a 3-year undergraduate course with 2 years masters. And that
gnarly.
was
Yeah,
it was
It's gnarly.
it was
That's
a
a
long
lot.
course. So 8
Yeah.
years of study in total. But yeah, it was
I remember when Tom was in school, we were dating, and I would like do flashcards for him, and I couldn't even pronounce like the name. I was the worst tutor ever. I was like,
very good. You held it.
I'm so dyslexic. I'm like sounding it out like BD, like trying to
I'll be
ask
getting it
him. And
before
he's
you.
like, all right, yeah. But it was intense. It was a gnarly, I mean, any medical school, as it should be, is so
Yes.
intense. But you definitely you earned your stripes with it because. Yeah, I still can't pronounce half the things that you learn.
I've got 2 questions. One's more, your profession based. So I want to know what's the gnarliest recovery that you've treated. You obviously don't have to, you can't say people, but and what that looks like and the time commitment. Like, what does your day to day look like when you're helping somebody recover from whatever the injury may be?
Ooh,
Great question.
yeah. I think this patient will let me tell you as well.
Oh, wow.
Probably a lower back disc extrusion. You may be sitting in this room with me, but
Was that really? Wow. I was a gnarly injury.
Wow.
Mine was really
How long
brutal.
ago is that? That was like 3 years? No, it's got to be longer than
It
that.
was 2021. It was
yeah,
bad.
that was a brutal one. We often, I think, any disc with the lower back that's substantial, and yours was 13 or 14 mil extrusion, which is huge.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
Mine was like 4.
Yeah. Mine was like out of frame of the MRI. My disc was like flying saucer outside of my back. It looked
And
like
was that one injury? I can't remember. That was over time, wasn't it?
that was over time. It just got worse and worse and
Yeah.
worse. And then 2021 came around and I was like, something is really wrong. And then thank God I had Tom with me the whole way through and to help me navigate.
yeah, no, I think they're just a really hard injury. Like it took us probably 12 months to rehab you from all the way
12
through.
months of me being like a professional athlete every single day.
Yeah.
And that was my full focus of getting
Ugh.
better. And having a husband who is a full-time live-in osteopath.
I was pretty much, I was dressing you for like 2 months there. You can put your socks on.
it
you
was
couldn't do
bad.
any of
It was
that.
bad.
I think people don't realize that like injuries sometimes, actually more times than not, you're spending more time as a professional athlete recovering from an injury than you would be if you were 100% on your own training regimen.
Yeah, probably.
And it's crazy. It's all day, every day, and it's a commitment for sure.
Full blown. Yeah, that was gnarly. So you think backs are, I mean, there's so many bad injuries you treat, but
They're
tricky.
temperamental, and it's really hard because like a knee, you often see consistent improvements. So it might be like still 4 months, 6 months, whatever it is, but there's very consistent improvements throughout the process. Whereas with disc and the more like niggly soft tissue stuff, it's often like 4 months of zero improvement. And that's when the patient often starts asking questions like, hey, should I go and see a surgeon? What do you think about a discectomy or something where they're not trusting the process? And it's hard as a practitioner to be like, hey, like trust the process, just keep things going. And like, I promise you it will at some stage start to get better. And I think with you, it was probably 6 months before we really started to turn the corner.
Yeah.
And even as a practitioner, we went and saw Tim Brown, another very good practitioner in California who I trust
Yeah.
greatly. And he was like, no, trust the process. So it was like almost getting, other people's opinions to back our opinions. And, but yeah, yours was definitely one of the longer back ones.
You took some time off the tour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to like fully take
Shut
the
it
rest
down,
of the year,
huh?
shut it down.
Ugh.
Yeah. That was a bad one. That was, I mean, I haven't,
Yeah.
I haven't had too much other than that. I had a broken ankle when I was younger, but that healed in like 6 weeks. And then it was just so painful. And I think anyone who's had lower back stuff, like, it's just so debilitating
Really.
that you're just like, oh my gosh. And then it feels like you just finally start making progress and you do one thing. Even in rehabbing, you're like, oh, I just went back like
Yep.
18 steps,
Totally.
which you could probably talk about that. But you constantly told me like, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And you got to push the boundary of like where you're at, you know? And Kaylee actually had, you did hip. What did you do?
I did
2 in 2 surgeries.
I did left hip, left shoulder, and this was Lakey and I were talking about it in our first episode of my South Korea injury. And I always looked at these injuries, did labrum on both.
But sorry, how far apart were the surgeries?
6 weeks apart.
Yeah.
And I always looked at these as like aftershocks from that South Korea balcony collapse because I fell on my left side, but we were so focused on the laceration in the leg that I don't think I properly got checked out. Like, I swear I had a concussion. Like, I'm sure I had some other stuff going on. And even if it wasn't necessarily from the fall, you forget how much what your body does to protect itself.
Yep.
And then I was in a boot. So just those mechanics of being in a boot like that, I'm sure wasn't great for my hip. But yeah, it's been a long road of recovery and I still feel like aches and pains. So maybe I need to go hit you up for a couple treatments.
See Dr. Tom. Dr. Tom.
So no surgery with a labrum. You let them heal.
No surgery.
Oh, you did the surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
did
did
both.
Yeah.
Yep.
One 6 weeks later and the other.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
It wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
That's a very immobile human being right there. Yeah.
And then now I want to dive into my next question is you guys were talking about the dream team over here. We got to hear about the love story. How'd you guys meet? How did it happen? Tom's from Australia. He's living in San Clemente now, and you guys do everything together. And I want to know the ins and outs because if I did everything with my Tom, my husband, we would, I don't know what would happen.
I mean, yeah, we have our moments. Don't get us wrong. You want to tell our story?
You start. I'll fill the
Okay.
the blanks.
Well, we met because I compete obviously overseas, and we have an event every year at Bells Beach where Tom is from. So because we go back to the same places every year, like similar events every year, Bells is usually, I mean, that's like the longest lasting event on the calendar. So we go back there every season. So you kind of make friends in these areas because after you do it a few years, you meet people. And I had become really good friends with these 2 girls there, and they're sisters. They're just the sweetest, and they surf. And at the time, one of them, Meg, was dating Tom's best friend. And I was at dinner with Meg and her family, and she's like, "Are you single?" I was like, "Yeah, but I want to be single. Like, I'm not. This is no.
What age? What years are we talking? Like, where
was
are we?
2014.
Okay.
So pretty, just into the tour. I mean, 2 years in. Yeah, right? 2014 we met.
I think so. Yeah. Well, it's been it's 11 years
That's
now.
crazy. Yeah, and then she showed me a photo of Tom, and I was like, "Ooh, I would maybe I'll meet him." Yeah. And so, anyways, I had to do the comp still, and I was like, "Okay, I got to do the contest though." And then I lost the next day, and I'll never forget. She's like, "Hey, we're gonna go to bowling. Tom's gonna come, and I'll let you take over from here." I was like, "I don't really want to go bowling." I'm like, "I'm so sad. I'm going home tomorrow. We've been in Australia for like months, whatever." And she's like, "No, you're coming." And then, so anyways, Tom picked me up that night with them. But yeah, you can take it.
So yeah, it was kind of a blind. I was like, "Yeah, we're going bowling with a few friends," and I was like, "Oh, cool." And I was the same as Lakey, not really wanting a relationship. And my friend thought he was the smoothest operator ever. Got out of the front seat. "I'm going to let you sit in the front seat, Lakey. I'll let you guys walk into the restaurant together."
It was pretty
very
funny.
obvious,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Johnny Spateri, thank you. You made the magic happen.
In the most awkward, obvious way ever, but
Yeah.
it worked. Yeah.
And then, so we went bowling that night. We made fools of ourselves. Lost
And
bowling.
Lakey's literally flying out the next day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
not coming back to Australia, to Bells for another year.
Another
Yep,
year.
yep.
See you later.
And
Yeah.
it didn't cross my mind that night that we'd ever date, or I was interested
It crossed
in...
my mind.
But then after that, we talked every day for 7 months, and then I flew out with a knee reconstruction.
Yeah.
2 days after a knee reconstruction, which is the stupidest thing you could
Oh
ever
my
do.
gosh,
Yeah.
14 hours or
Yeah.
plus, actually.
Yeah. Doing
Yeah.
blood thinners on the plane.
That's
he
love.
was in,
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
bad.
At the time, I did not appreciate it enough. I'll never forget. He got off the plane. We hadn't seen each other in 8 months. We met one night, didn't even kiss. Nothing happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is flying out. He gets off the plane. He has the biggest knee brace
I
on.
did not know this.
There's
This
like
is
these
good.
cute little Qantas stewardesses, like just wheeling him out, like, like, you know, and this poor guy, and then he was injecting himself with blood thinners. It was really, it was an act of love that you came out there. It was, yeah. So he came to Hawaii, which was our last event that year. And then here we are 11 years later.
How did you guys manage, obviously, pro tour or pro surfer on the tour, traveling 9-10 months of the year? You're in school, or at that time, were you in school? Yeah, you're in
Yes.
full-time school. How did you guys continue this relationship?
We always say it's a really big blessing that he was so busy and I was so busy, because I think if he was like just cruising at home, or I was just cruising at home, not on tour, like he was full time in school, which was so all consuming. I think they even told you at the beginning of the course, like, don't get a partner, right? Because
Yeah, in our orientation week, if you have a girlfriend,
How funny.
you
How
don't
crazy
have
is that?
enough time. And I was like, oh, just start dating someone.
And she lives in America. Yeah. So yeah, I think the reason it worked is obviously like we connected and fell in love, but also we both just like so were focused on our own thing, so it didn't feel like one was like
I think it
naggy.
worked better, honestly, the
Yeah,
distance. It was like,
yeah.
if you were around, I probably would have only seen you 1 or 2 days a week anyway. So,
Yeah, it really worked
and
out.
the same for you. You were so busy. So
Yeah, it
Yeah.
worked out.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
And then fast forward to 2019, you guys throw a legendary party in your wedding. Very fun.
It was fun.
And then from that point on, when did you move over to America? Was it were you still dealing with some visa and school and stuff at that point?
I moved just before our wedding, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was half a year before our wedding.
yeah.
We moved over. We had issues with visa stuff. I put myself on the red list temporarily.
Yeah, Tom got kicked out of the States for a minute there.
Oops.
Yeah. It was an oops.
Yeah.
It was an oops.
But yeah, we're in now, and we're loving every bit of it. So
And now can you fill us in a little bit with now that your travel schedule now and what you do on the road? Obviously you have your spot here where you treat people, but you go and travel on the road a lot, and then you're with Lakey a lot. You guys do your YouTube, you do a little bit of everything. You train her, you cheer her on. So let's hear about kind of what now looks like.
Yeah.
yeah, so we're busy. Like it's 10 contests a year at the moment. We have a vlog, so it's more of a fun little thing we've got going, but we enjoy that. So I did the editing for that. And then on the road, I actually work, so it's normally 6 contests a year with Red Bull on their athletes. So funny enough, I'm actually working on Lakey's opponents.
I love that.
But they all trust me,
Sabotage.
and
No,
we're
just
very
kidding.
good friends with them. They're awesome guys and girls. So
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to be working on the road while she's doing her thing. I'm doing my thing. And then when I can be, I'm in your corner, and if we have the camera and you got no one to film you on the road, and I've got a spare afternoon, I'll come down and film. So
You do a lot. You do a bit of everything. And then you have your clinic here,
Yeah.
you do a little bit out of too.
Yeah.
But what a blessing. You get picked up by Red Bull, who's obviously one of the best in that space, the sports science space, and you on tour where your wife surfs on, the tour that your wife surfs on, and you get to treat some of your best friends. Like, what a killer gig is that?
it's pretty cool. Yeah, no, they're an awesome company. I was fortunate enough to go to the big headquarters in Santa Monica and work out of there for a few months, and
That was cool.
their setup is insane. It's like, if you're into health and fitness, it's like a kid walking into a candy store.
love
They've just
that.
got everything.
geek out over
Tom
it.
just
Yeah,
playing
I
with
was
all
like,
the little
first day in
lasers.
there, like, didn't want to go home. I'm like, what's this machine do? What's this one do? Like,
So cool.
so no, it's very fortunate, and I love it.
Well, you've been there for some years, so I think you're doing something right.
Yeah, I haven't stuffed up anyone yet. So
He is. Can I ask a couple questions before we'll wrap up in a little bit here? But if you could give, I think so many people like have just nagging little aches and pains. Obviously, lower backs are a huge one. Necks, like everyone has aches and pains. What would be your best piece of advice for people just to stay active and they're healthiest, like what is the best longevity tip for people from your perspective as an osteopath? Like what can people be doing at home that's realistic? Because I think a lot of doctors or osteos are like, do,
Yeah.
5 days a week of
Right.
physio or whatever. And it's like the average person doesn't have that time or money. And so what would you tell people that are like wanting to feel better and something that's realistic for them, you think?
I think match training with maintenance. So I always say like a lot of people, and especially teens, early 20s guys who are wanting to just compete at a higher level, all they do is train until they get injured. And then they realize slowly, all right, I've got to mix my maintenance, which is maybe mobility, it may be a reformer, it may be seeing a practitioner every once a week or once every 2 weeks. But doing 50-50. If you're training pedal to the metal and doing your heavy lifting, your plyos, all of that stuff all week long, your body's going to get really beaten up and definitely not last the test of time. And even if you're in your 40s or 50s, it's like, there's online mobility sessions you can do. There's easy reformer classes you can jump into. Like it doesn't all cost thousands of dollars to sort of keep at it. If you are wanting to push yourself, you're surfing a bunch, mix it and make sure you're doing the 50-50.
I like that 50-50. We should tell the coach on the national team, Adam, about 50-50.
Adam needs a 50-50.
Dr. Tom might need
So-
to write him a letter.
That's so.
This just pops up in my mind, and I'm jumping around here, but I want to hear a little bit more of how you, every year, one day a year, you do something crazy,
Oh, good.
Oh,
like physically.
are you joining me this year? Or?
It depends.
Just
Not
have a
not
baby.
committing yet. I remember you did the 24 hours on a stationary bike when they were in Australia in the hotel room for COVID. That was wild to watch. And then, yes, that was insane. One year, what was it? Santa Barbara to San Clemente, prone paddle.
Yeah.
And I know you've talked a little bit about it on your social, but I want to hear a little bit more of the mindset, why you do that and how tough some of those challenges are and what's next.
Oh, God.
So we call them, I've got a good friend in Hawaii, Kona, and we call those the Misogi Challenge. So it's an old Japanese tradition where I think traditionally they used to do it in cold. They would go and like force themselves to being cold, and it was all about like trying to strengthen the mind and not training up for anything, just the pure like using your mind to sort of get through everything. So each year we try and choose something. We don't train up for it. And we've done, I think, 5 years now of Misogi challenges.
Go through.
First year was we were both stuck in hotel quarantine in Sydney, Australia.
14 days in the hotel room.
14
Just
days.
can't
Whole
leave.
different
Just
story.
to
It'll
like,
make you go crazy. Anyone would jump on a spin
Yeah,
bike
yeah.
for 24 hours.
oh,
But so that was the 24 hours on a spin bike year. Then the year after that, I think, was the paddle from Santa Barbara to San Clemente, which was actually a beautiful one.
that was your
How many
favorite one.
miles?
That was 170 something miles, I think.
Wow.
Camped with the homeless on Santa Monica Beach.
It was.
That was probably the most scary part of the trip.
Oh, my
They're
God.
a lot friendly, but I just at the halfway through, I was like, okay, this mightn't have been the smartest idea with all my
I kept tracking him on my phone so I could just see his little dot, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's like under Santa Monica Pier right now. Just
I had
like-
breakfast with the homeless the next morning. It was
my God.
quite the experience. They're all really friendly, but and then what was that? The year after that, I think it was maybe the 10 hours on the assault bike,
Oh, no.
Yeah.
which
Mayday.
was
The assault
honestly
bike.
the easiest one.
Actually?
That wasn't that bad. The 24 hours on a spin bike was, I couldn't walk for a month after that one. So
Wow, I would choose the spin bike over assault bike any day. I
Any
feel
day,
like.
right?
Maybe not.
the
Maybe
seat's
10 hours.
comfy down there. I had the
Yeah, that's
screen in front
true.
of me. I was, kind of cruise control. And then we attempted to run around Oahu, which was 144 miles.
A lap
I
around
didn't
Oahu.
last that one. Kona made it. My friend did.
No training though.
How
He
far,
got to
how far did
Hawaii.
you go?
I went to Pearl Harbor from Pipeline, which was halfway, pretty much
my
halfway.
God.
And I got heat stroke, vomiting,
It was bad.
cramping. I
It
got
was
stuck on a
bad.
park bench, and
He
that was
called
that
me.
one.
It was
I
like
think
10
I need
p.m.
this one.
and he's like, I can't move. And I was like, he's like, but I don't want to quit. I can't quit. I can't. And I was like, babe,
You can quit.
I'm coming to pick you up right now. You're going to go hospitalize yourself. And he's like, I can't quit. Kona's still going. And I was like,
oh
no.
my God.
But that was like all
every
nutrition.
toenail was
It
like
was so
listed
nice.
I was just going to
falling off.
say, how are the day or two or three after that?
I could, but it
Oh.
was I think for the next month after, it was like feet had sores all over them, the hips, the back, lower back. So, yeah.
Gosh.
But that was a fun one though. We saw a lot of cool stuff, and we had a lot of other guys join us on that.
Oh,
So it was
that's
like
killer.
cool camaraderie.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then this year, I haven't done one yet. So we're actually,
Oh,
if you want to do it with
We're
me,
1
Kaylee,
month away.
I
Yeah.
know. 2026.
Yeah.
right before you are, you pop out the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it going to be?
I know. What are you gonna do?
I was thinking the Santa Barbara to San Clemente paddle again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
You
fun.
loved that. You actually really enjoyed that one.
It was
You were
cool.
like, that was so fun by the end.
Yeah.
So you're basically doing what you tell all your patients not to do.
Yes.
Go in blind and just push yourself to
Blow
the
your
limit.
body out.
Yeah,
But it's
exactly.
cool. After the Misogi challenge, we spend the next month like doing our maintenance sessions like
Yeah.
every day. So it's almost like, all right, you ruin your body and then you spend the next month getting rid of all those little niggles and stuff that you actually probably weren't even addressing as much before the
Well,
challenge.
Maybe we will. Maybe not this year. Maybe not next year, but 1 year. Maybe we'll do it.
2028.
Yeah, 2028. Lakey and I are in.
Oh my gosh. Tom also has, I'll just put it in here, a little YouTube channel called The Fix It Doc. And he does like rehab videos for free. So you could go on, there's lower back, there's knee, there's ankles, hips, shoulder. Like, so if you guys do have any little niggling pains,
They're
check it
all,
out.
all the maintenance days.
They're really, really good
Perfect.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other ways can people get in touch with you?
The social media at the moment. So that's actually in California how I do most of my my consults.
What's your handles?
What's that?
What are your handles?
The Fix It Doc.
Yep.
And then slaustralia@gmail.com is
Perfect.
the if you want to contact me through that. And yeah.
Amazing. Well, thanks for joining us. We have one more question. The let's wrap it up
Segment.
segment. Dun-dun-dun. We got to get a cool sound to go
Okay,
in there. Like, Tom will probably do that for us. He's going to be our editing guy.
Yeah, Tom is our editing guy. He's the best. All right, let's wrap it up. The question is, if you could send a voice memo to your younger self or to any kid in the lineup chasing the same dream, what is one piece of advice you would give to keep going?
Don't set boundaries.
Wow, nice. Short and sharp.
I love it.
Wow.
Crushed it. Thomas Allan.
Everyone always sets boundaries for you. And I feel like, you can, with a bit of hard work and resilience, you can always push the boundaries a little further.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me,
The
guys.
Sure Thing podcast,
Yeah.
Thomas Allan.
Thomas Allan. Love you, babe. Thanks for hopping on.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
This is epic.
Awesome.
Woo.
See you guys next time.